What's good, you guys, and welcome back to the DJ's Take.
I'm Donnie.
And I'm James, and on this show, we talk about the music industry from a fan's point of view. Donnie, what are we talking about today?
Today we are going to be discussing the decline in award shows and what is going on.
Ooh, man, is there ever a decline? I think what made me think of this first and foremost was Timothy texted me and was like, are you guys going to go over the hip hop awards? And I was like, no, they're in a nightclub. They were in a nightclub. Like Travis Scott was there, which was a huge deal. Like he won like Artist of the Year, but it was in a legit nightclub. It was such a joke of a thing.
Yeah, I was seeing so many people make fun of it and clown it, and the lack of professionalism, and it just seems to be pride in your product has been deviating over the years.
Low. And then the other one too was the AMAs. Like I was like, it was like some kind of like tribute to the past or something, and it was like Mariah, Jennifer Hudson, loved them all, but like where's Sabrina or anyone of 2024 of the modern years? And it was like there were no moments. I don't know who got awarded for that or anything. Like there were no moments.
Yeah, it's
And the straw that broke the camel's back was recently the Billboard Awards were just recently, and nothing.
I didn't even know they were going on. That's what we do. That's all we pay attention to. We did not even know it was coming up. So it's like if you're not the Grammys, the VMAs, nobody's caring. Like even the CMAs, they just had some of the lowest ratings they've ever had. Like, right? Like that's crazy.
When they had a huge year for country music, so it should have been lit.
It was a big country. The resurgence in country music has been crazy. Like the numbers have been amazing. Think about it. Think about all the number ones that came out this year. I Had Some Help, Shabuzi, A Bar Song Tipsy, Beyonce. When it comes to Texas Hold'em, like there's just been songs with a force of nature. And what's going on? Like
I have no idea. I think there's a couple issues I can think of. One, this year's VMAs, I think there were a couple of like moments in it there was kind of trending for a few days. But I was seeing a lot of homage to the past, like Tate McRae dressed up as old Britney, and people always do that. And it's almost like a Halloween then, rather than creating new moments, thinking of what is pushing the envelope, even if you get blowback for it, like Britney and Madonna and Christina Aguilera. Yeah, they got mad blowback, but guess what? They're iconic. You know, they're iconic for
like
VMAs.
Cemented in a moment.
Yeah.
Like that's a moment. Like we went over earlier in episodes, a moment of the year. That would have been a moment of the year.
Yep.
So my biggest thing when it comes to things like this, when I think about the CMAs, I do have to think about a little bit of other layers that might have been involved. James, this was like one of the years that they actually had African American artists who are country involved, correct?
Yes.
What if it was a boycott by country people that quote unquote that's not country music? What was it? What if it was them boycotting the CMAs? Maybe what if that is the reason behind their numbers being low? I know you always try to say, oh well, that's why y'all suck and that's why your award show didn't have that many numbers. But what if it's because they were being including others and being diverse?
But they really weren't, because Beyonce wasn't nominated. Shabuzi lost.
I understand
everything.
Not nominated, but they did have African American artists finally there and performing and were more accepting, right?
Yeah.
So it could be reversed. It could have been, the people in a certain demographic saying we're not watching because this ain't country music.
But they should have looked at the business model, because when Beyonce performed Daddy Lessons, that was the highest rated CMAs of all time. So I probably would have jumped at the chance to nominate Beyonce and have her perform at that, because the numbers were through the roof and now they're lower than ever. So someone needs fired.
I think a big part, when we'll get away from the CMAs, we understand what's going on over there. I think one of the biggest things I believe is going on right now is that a lot of these producers and a lot of these networks, they're not on the right wavelength. And when I say they're not on the right wavelength, is it seems like they're so tuned out of what's going on in the movement that's actually going on. They're trying to stay so how they used to be, like staying in the past for too long. This is an era where YouTubers run this. This is an era where influencers run this. So why aren't you having Kai Cenat
Yes.
be the one
Host
presenting,
almost.
hosting? Why don't we have Drewski up there? Why don't we have, what's his name? Oh my goodness, he's funny. Oh, I forget his name. He is hilarious.
What is
but I can't even think about it. Like, I would have to say one of his words, but he's inappropriate sometimes. So, but why are we not having these guys up there? Why are we not including them? Why are we not streaming it on Netflix at this point? That's the way, that's what's going on. It takes somebody like a Jake Paul to be innovative and be like, this is the way things are moving, like even when it comes to boxing, and innovating that field. And that's what needs to happen.
I will also say for the award shows, they need to start having entertainers performing. It needs to be the Normanis, the Chloes, the people who, the Bruno Marses, people who know how to perform. Chaperone, like people who know how to make moments, who will cause social media engagement. Tyler, even, like, these are people who know how to perform. It needs to be pushed to the forefront. I'm sorry, Shawn Mendes and his guitar, we don't want to see that
at all.
We don't want to see
Camila Cabello.
No, we do not want to see
smashing a laptop in a room.
No
shade.
No.
But, do you think one thing that might be worth them doing is starting to keep the guests maybe a secret of the performances? Or do you think people tune in because...
No, that's horrible. No, don't do that.
You think?
Yeah, because if you have Taylor Swift booked to perform, you need to say Taylor Swift
of course, but I'm saying maybe keep some.
They usually do though.
Guest.
Like there will be people that pop up randomly. Like I remember at the BET Awards, they never announced Beyonce performing, and she opened the show.
So I think it's also about finding stars and making sure that these stars, like Sabrina Carpenter, make sure that their moments are big. Make sure that they are starting to have iconic moments and performances.
You were disappointed in her performance.
It was weird. There was a bunch of astronauts, aliens involved, and I was like, okay, I get it's the VMAs, but that doesn't mean your performance has to. Alejandro didn't. Alejandro didn't have no alien. Woo! He ain't have no.
Why didn't we bring him up during our episode a few episodes back for a breakout artist? Because Raw,
I didn't want to say he's a breakout artist if he's been doing it for a while.
True, he was a breakout to us. Raw, Alejandro,
he's new to us, and
he has the best performance of 2024. Like one of them for
absolutely
award shows.
So
he killed that.
So in my opinion, it's like we need to be on that type of time. We really need to have artists, like you said, performing at a high clip, but setting up artists to get a writer, man. If you have to sit there and get somebody to write interesting moments, by all means. Like, there's no reason why Sabrina Carpenter did not try her best to have Jenna Ortega come up and do something with her.
Yeah.
I think it could have been very creative. Even having Drewski come out and we gotta think outside the box. We're in a new era where if this is not the typical open the envelope and the award goes to it's where this generation isn't about that, because guess what? We can catch all the highlights after on TikTok. So
I agree with that. Usually my favorite one every year is like Grammys, and then I always like the BET Awards just because they always have the dopest artists performing.
BET Awards be having it.
Like this year it was Glorilla performing all the time, Meg Thee Stallion. Like, it's just really huge stars that
I'm not gonna lie, VMAs, they did it this year. They did it.
They had everyone that went.
Katy Perry, she went off this year.
The video Vanguard.
They went off this year. Like, I was actually genuinely like, wow, this is a fun time. Like, I wish I was there. So yeah,
Eminem up
and
in the show.
Maybe that needs to be another thing. Maybe make it more accessible. Like people can have a chance to be there and be involved.
Yes. How did the DJs take on?
Like, how do you even get there?
Yeah. I think you apply for tickets.
Yeah, you apply for tickets, but it needs to be more of a thing.
Yeah, we should document trying to figure that out and going. That would be a good
how we
one.
get there.
Yeah, comment down low. How do we get to Grammys, VMAs. To be fair, I feel like I'd rather go to a VMAs or something like that than a Grammys, because I feel like Grammys would just be boring. It would almost be boring.
The Grammys does take a lot. Like, every year isn't a Taylor Swift year breaking year.
Yeah.
It's not every year a Beyonce breaking year. You get what I'm
And they
saying?
never
Like,
perform anymore, so it's not
Exactly.
even like you're seeing a performance.
and they don't be having Chris Brown come up, so it's not like
No.
you're gonna get the best of the best. You're gonna get a lot of ballots. So
Yeah, no.
I agree.
I remember the one year Bruno Mars was like, "Can we pick up the pace, you guys?" He won the award. He was like, "All these sad songs, come on." You remember he
Yeah.
said that. Yeah, but let us know. Sound off. What do you think is the reason for the Billboard, or not just Billboard, all the award shows for the decline? Why are we not excited as we once were? But on that note,
I'm Donnie.
and I'm James, and this was another episode of
The DJ's Take.
Later.
I also feel like we don't have enough star power.
Oh, yes.
I also feel like a